No, it's a different era. You have to accept it's a different era. People are different. Look, people are changing, and it's a really interesting, obvious sign that things that were super acceptable. And when was this? In Living Color, I want to say it was like 92?
90 to 94.
90 to 94, yeah. So that, the way you could do certain bits and what you get away with and put on television was just different. So I think that's one of the, probably one of the least understood things that's happening with us with social media is this rapid evolution of what's acceptable and not acceptable anymore. Yeah. And it's changing very quickly in terms of subjects, in terms of the way you approach things, in terms of obvious bigotry or obvious bias. It's it's all getting very highlighted.
Well, I think the big question is whether or not you see an artist as somebody who's taking their inner vision and putting it out, and you go for the ride or you don't.
Yeah.
Or are we supposed to be representing society in our stand-up? Or is it all supposed to be fair, balanced representations of different ethnic groups and genders? And it's when did it all have to become a morality tale? When did every depiction of every race have to be fair?
Yeah.
Can't you have an asshole who's black? Can't you have a killer who's gay without it becoming a depiction of that entire, subgroup?
Yeah, it's what our real problem is that prejudice does exist. So when it does exist, you kind of look for it in things and you say, hey, this has the characteristics of prejudice. I see this here. I see what you're doing here. That I think this is prejudice. We say, no, this is making fun of Puerto Rican men. This is not prejudice.
Yeah.
This is an account of real occurrences that I've turned into humor.
Yeah.
The flamboyant masculinity of Puerto Rican men. I mean, in New York, that's if you thought of a type of Latino sort of the bravado, the music, the food, everything spicy. If you can't make fun of that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. Colin Quinn does a whole thing about how...
It doesn't have to be racist, right?
Puerto Ricans are never inside or outside. They're always both. There's always a window open and people on the inside and outside are talking. The car door is always open. They're half in the car. They're half...
Right. This isn't racist. This is...
Observation. Can I make an observation?
Yes.
Can I tell you that yesterday, about twice a week, I go to this Japanese market in Mar Vista, and they've got all different kinds of, you can get sushi, tempura, whatever. The parking lot for this place, because 80% of the people there are Asian, film it and put it on a fucking television channel. It is just people...
Why don't you produce it?
I could announce it like I was AJ Foyt.
You're an Emmy Award-winning writer. You could actually do something like that. You're a legit writer. You could totally produce that.
Can you imagine announce it like NASCAR? It's just people not getting how to get out of a parking spot without taking 8K turns. And people on the wrong side of the street and backing up without looking over their shoulders. And they're all Asian, and it's fucking hilarious. I didn't tell them to do it. I didn't say it was wrong, but it's happening.
Yeah, they've explained it, why it's a stereotype, but why Asian people would be more likely to walk straight. And if you go to China, or if you go to any of those Asian countries, when people walk straight at each other, they all kind of have this way of touching, and there's so many people, they're just grinding past each other.
Really?
And so yeah. So when you're in China in particular, people are indifferent to bumping into you. It doesn't bother them at all. They just bump into you.
Uh-huh.
If you're in the aisle of a plane, they just bump into you.
Yeah.
They'll do it to little kids, just walk right through you.
Right.
It's just that's how they do. It's not rude. Just how
it's
they do it.
Culturally different because it's more crowded.
Why can't you comment on that? Why couldn't you comment on that if that's a real thing? Because that is a real thing. They do that.
Yeah.
They also do a lot of great stuff. I mean, it's not like it's a negative judgment on the entire race because they have this one characteristic. Mm-hmm. But to ignore that one characteristic seems crazy.
Yeah.
It's why can't I talk about something?
Yeah.
It's not mean. I'm not a bad person to talk about a real thing that you see and I see.
Yeah.
What is that?
I get booed on stage sometimes now. That never used to happen.
For what? What do you say?
I did a joke
We don't have to say the joke, but just like
I'll say it. I don't care because I don't think it's offensive. But this person did, and it was I go, oh, it's Girl Scout cookie season. Those little whores are out there popping up their tables wherever you are, selling those stale, shitty, overpriced cookies. But you buy them because it makes you feel good, like you're a good person, And then you walk through the parking lot and some black kid comes up with a box of Snickers going, hey, will you support my basketball team? And you're like, that's a fucking scam. This guy goes, boo. They're not all I'm like,
that's not what we're saying,
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.